Alright guys, so today what I want to do is I want to talk to you guys about the two main different types of sewing, okay? Now there's other types of sewing out there, but we're just going to focus on the two basic ones. So the first type of sewing is going to be your hand sewing. So hand sewing would be the sewing where you just use some fabric, you use a sewing needle, which is like metal, and small and very thin, and the needle can be very sharp and pointy, so you have to be careful with that. And then you would have some thread, okay? And when people hand sew, typically they may be hand sewing to make a pillow, okay? So you may start here, let's say if you are a kid learning to sew, if you are adult learning to sew, if you happen to be in some sort of sewing class, you may start here with just basic hand sewing, which is fine, okay? And it's pretty simple to start off with hand sewing. Then you have your sewing with a sewing machine, okay? And that is a little bit more involved because you're using an actual machine to help you with sewing, okay? So when it comes to sewing, as far as the sewing machine is concerned, there are different types of sewing machines that you can use to sew. There are beginner sewing machines, and my recommendation, if you don't know the best beginner sewing machine for you to start with, I advise going onto YouTube and searching for a video that talks about beginner sewing machines, okay, or sewing machine for beginners, and then you'll have some results videos pop up, and then watch each one of those videos, whichever video stands out to you, and then you'll get recommendations of the best sewing machine to get started with. I will tell you guys, as you can see here, there is a picture in front of you of a sewing machine, and yes, this sewing machine was on sale for $209.99 plus tax, okay? So sewing machines can start off being expensive for some of you who want to get started with sewing. And you may want to start, with sewing on a sewing machine because you may want to make some clothes. You may want to make a blanket or pillow or whatever it is you want to make. And you may feel that, sewing on a sewing machine is the route you want to go on. And that's okay. If you want to start by hand sewing, that's okay, okay? You don't have to have one preference over another. If you want to start with sewing by hand, that's fine. You can start by sewing by hand, maybe by, just kind of, making a repair to maybe patching, maybe, a hole in your shirt or something like that, or if there's a broken, like if you notice that you need to sew to close a hole in your jeans, you can hand sew and do that. It's completely okay. There's no right or wrong way as to how, which type of method to sew that you choose. Just know that these are the two basic ones that I know personally, and this is where you can get started. So don't feel like, you have to learn, to do one or the other really fast. Take your time, pace yourself, regardless if you want to start learning how to sew by sewing machine or you want to start sewing by hand. Either one works fine. Thanks for watching.